Hi guys, today we're going through redacting bulky documents. So if you're a litigating attorney, I'm going to walk you through how you can automate the redaction process on materials you'll need redacting in legal proceedings. So our goal, as with all our redactions, is to protect sensitive information and comply with legal requirements before our documents are made available during discovery. So we're going to log into Redactable, and then I've created a project called Litigation. And in it, we're going to redact information from a chain of emails between a client and us, the attorney, in this document called burglary and assault. Then we're just going to click redact. Then we want to try out the search text feature. So we click on it to access the search and redact feature. And in this email chain, you want to remove a lot of information at once. We don't want to go through the whole email chain and then manually remove the data. For obvious reasons, it would be too time consuming, especially if we know what information we want to remove. And we would obviously have other chains of communication to redact, such as email exchanges with other parties. So we don't want to do this manually. And in the search text box, we want to put in all the information that we want to redact. For instance, email addresses, our minor client's name, phone numbers, and addresses. So we add all the information and then we hit search. And so Redactable has gone through the document and it's found 57 matches. So one of the concerns I had was that if I'm working on a client's file and I want to redact the same information in this text box from 4 or 5 different documents, I don't want to keep typing these terms in here. So what you can do is you can go to recent search and then you can just make use of your recent searches to find the same information on different documents in the same file. So since we're happy, we click search. We found our 57 matches, select all items, and then redact 57 items. And that's your preliminary redacting done. Now, if you want to make more changes, like for instance, you want to change the color of the redactions, you go to redaction color, select the color you want. We're going to go with black, or you can change to red or white, hit save, and this is what it would look like. So we're going to just go back to black. And so when you change the color of the redactions, it changes all of them. So there's no need to click each individual redaction and then change the color. Now, if you want to add the reasons for the redactions, click on one of the redactions, then select your reason. We're going to click confidential. And then we want this to apply to all our redactions. And then that will change everything. And if you want to see the changes, you just go to redaction preview. And this is what all our redactions will look like in the finalized copy, which looks good. Now let's move on to another cool automation feature that will save you time. So when we were using the search and redact feature here, we were using it on information which is constant throughout the document, such as the client's information and certain email addresses aren't changing. And so there's no point in manually reading through the entire document and redacting, say, Eva Green's name throughout the document when you can just use the search and redact feature. But what about where there's information that isn't constant, that appears throughout the document that we'd like to redact, but doing manually would be time consuming, and also using the search and redact feature would be quite challenging in that we're getting new information throughout the document, such as new parties who are joining the proceedings, such as detectives, police officers, outside counsel, other people who are just involved in the legal proceedings, and their email addresses change throughout the document. Things that also change are things like date. And so the feature you'd want to use is this find and replace feature. And one of the first things we want to obviously find is email addresses. Click email address, and we want to say private because that information is private. Search. And then it's picked up 44 instances where different people's email addresses have been revealed, and we don't want to make that public information. And then with one click of a button, you can redact 44 different email addresses. Next thing you want to redact is time and date. So if you go time and date, search, it's picked up 51 instances where the date and time have been used in this document, and you want to also make that information private, and then redact all. And then once we're happy with that, we finalize our redactions. And then we attach the Redaction Certificate, download our file, open our file. And this is what our final redacted document will look like. And so not only is the text covered under this black text box and the reason pasted on top, But what it's done is that it's deleted the information that's under those black text and any metadata. So anyone who wants to copy and paste this information and try to reveal the underlying information and say, paste it in Microsoft Word, you can't do that. The information has been permanently removed. And then if we scroll down to the bottom of this document, you'll find the redaction certificate. So it will contain a history of our redactions. So the name of the document, the number of redactions we've performed, the pages, and who was redacting what, which is also very useful. So now I also want to show you another document which may have more redactions. And I just want to show you how quickly you can redact a lot of information in a very bulky document. So we're going to click this FDX motion, go to find and replace. And the first thing we want to remove are company names. There are certain companies which are named in this motion, but who aren't being charged with anything. And let's just say we want to keep their names private. We could search company names, and we're going to select private, search the document, and then 120 instances where the names of courts, names of companies have been revealed, and we want to redact that. We hit replace all. Then the next thing we also want to find are obviously email addresses. So we don't want to reveal attorneys' email addresses as well. That's 7 searches. We want to replace that. And then the next information we want to remove are phone numbers. That's also private information. Remove those. And then physical addresses. That's pretty much it. You've finished your redactions, hit finalize redaction, and now let's look at our final copy. So this is what your final copy will look like. We've redacted all the information that we wanted to redact. But if we go down to the certificate, which is what I want to show you, we've essentially done 223 redactions with a matter of a few clicks. And so this is the benefit of using AI-driven tools to help you in your redaction process, is that you can automate a lot of manual processes that you really don't need to be doing. And you also get to invite your teammates to review your work. So in the event that someone's done this work and you want to review before finalizing documents, you can also collaborate with your teammates. So you go to team members and you invite team members. I hope this helps, guys. Thanks. I'll see you on the next one.